For the viewers, welcome to the Cheyenne Show. We got Lily Roberti, everybody. You're a business student, a colleague of mine at the TMU marketing team, and also just a great person, very enthusiastic. So
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
thank you for coming on. So you're a crazy content creator, and you got a lot of different
Projects going on.
projects going on. Why don't you give us a little introduction?
So I'm Lily. I'm a TikTok content creator. I've been making content since I was very young. I started off on YouTube, and once I got into university, I realized it was something that I actually really enjoyed. I joined the TMU content team with Cheyenne in May. You joined in September.
I joined later. Yeah. You kind of ran the place by the time I came in. You were
I was running the joint, and he barged in. So I joined the team in May, and I really enjoyed being on the team, and I obviously continued during the fall semester. And because of that opportunity, I got hired by Curiosity Canada to run their TikTok account. And they were basically just starting out when I joined, and I've grown their account from 2,000 followers to 14,000 in the span of 2 months.
And you also got your own personal TikTok account.
Yeah, and on top of that, I run my own personal, which I always get really busy with all my other projects, but I always make sure to prioritize my own account and reputation on that side.
And you got 11K for that one.
Yeah.
11K. That's hard to do. Honestly, you have to be consistent, and you also have to have good ideas that resonate with people, to kind of get those numbers. So I want to ask you, how did you get started in content creation? Like you mentioned, you used to do YouTube videos back in the day.
Yeah.
Was it mainly you just liked being making videos or being on camera? Were you always that person in your family that was just always entertaining everybody?
Always had to be in the picture.
Yeah.
Kind of, actually. So my parents bought me an iPod when I was in grade 5, and that was kind of when iPods were booming. And it was also just the introduction of the YouTube era. So I actually realized all of this at a very young age, and I wanted to do my own videos. So I actually started making more YouTube based content and then posting it on Instagram, because my parents wouldn't let me have a YouTube channel because they just thought it was weird, and I was underage. I shouldn't have been posting videos on it, but it was something that just I really enjoyed doing. And my mom, after a while, was like, if you can get 1,000 followers on Instagram, I'll let you start a YouTube channel. So she thought that I was not gonna get 1,000. She was like, yeah, okay, let me give her just some crazy number. And I was 10 years old, and I was like, you know what, fuck you, I'm gonna do it. So I did it. And
you did it? You got 1,000 followers?
I got 1,000 followers, and then I made my YouTube channel, and my parents have always been really supportive of everything I do, even though I feel when I was that young, it was just kind of embarrassing as well. So that's kind of how I got into it, and I started doing videos with my friend Layla, and then I decided to branch off and do my own thing. But yeah, that's how I started off.
So you were like, fuck you, I'm going to do this.
Yeah.
You had an incentive to kind of get that YouTube channel going. You had that drive.
So I had the channel going, and it was really funny because I feel every other kid was like, oh, let me go to gymnastics class and play this with my friends and do this. But I was like, it's Thursday. That means that I need to post a YouTube video twice a week. I was very into it. And not a lot of people really understood. And yeah.
So you were a content creator ever since you were young, posting to the public kind of vibe.
Yeah, I made a lot of vlog style content with my friends. I did skit videos with my cousins that they all very much remember because they were really funny. Yeah, we did skit videos. I think you would actually like them.
Yeah,
I think you would laugh.
I'm actually curious because I used to do a bunch of skit type of videos too with my friends and stuff, and it was the school would be always watching every video that came out.
Yeah, so I also used to do a lot of vlog content about really important events in my life. So I did family birthday parties, my confirmation, my graduation, which is interesting because not a lot of people have those specific memories that they can just watch through in a video, but I kind of have it as a digital diary, which you can't view it all now because I put them all on private.
I was typing it down just
you
as we were talking.
You were
I'm
searching.
Lily Roberti. So I can't find it?
No, you won't be able to find it, but I would show you.
Okay.
But yeah, so it was like a really big part of my life when I was younger, and I immediately knew it was something that I loved. But I was incredibly made fun of for it between all of my peers. But it was interesting because they were all also they would also subscribe, and they watched every video. They were my biggest fans, I would say. They always had something negative to say, but they were my biggest fans.
That's good though. You need someone to kind of like take hits at you, because that's the only way you grow without having thin skin, And like you kind of continued. It didn't matter that they
I actually stopped doing YouTube videos when I entered high school, but I picked up other creative projects on the side. I bought my first professional camera, my first Canon, when I was in grade 8, and I actually did photography throughout high school, and that was kind of like my creative outlet. And then TikTok I didn't start till grade 12.
Okay, wait. So how old were you when you started a YouTube channel? Because that's young. Because I was thinking you were in high school by the time
I was in grade 5. So
you were in grade 5 making YouTube videos?
Yeah.
Oh my god! And Instagram, you got 1,000 Instagram followers.
Yeah. So I started.
Can you tell me how you got 1,000 Instagram followers? Were you just going up to everyone follow my Instagram?
So basically, I would find other small creators like me, and I would DM them and be like, "Hey, love your videos. Do you want to support each other?" And then we would actually become friends. So I became really involved in the community and just getting to know people. And
the
a lot
YouTube
of it,
community space or whatever.
Yeah, the small creator space. But I was also in grade 5.
Yeah,
I would love
child.
I was no, I literally was in grade 5.
Were you messaging other grade 5ers?
Yeah, I'd be like, hey, do you want to follow each other? You know what I mean?
Oh
but also
God.
People in my school got very involved, friends of friends, siblings, people just noticed, and yeah, it was hilarious.
Would you grow your YouTube channel too? How many?
My YouTube channel had 550 subscribers.
That's pretty impressive. That's really good, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah. So okay, you doing all this content stuff, and then when you came to you started doing TikToks in grade 12. So when you came to university, you're just okay, this is a no-brainer. I'm gonna get this job and try to grow off of this. Yeah.
So I actually started taking TikTok seriously during COVID.
Okay.
So I was in end of grade 12 when COVID hit me. So I just pumped out TikTok content while in quarantine, and one of my first few videos got 340,000 views, and I remember just being holy shit, there's something here. It was a light bulb moment for me, because I was oh, this isn't I'm not doing this for nothing, and maybe I actually am good at this. So I continued, and yeah.
Did you have money in your mind, or just this could be maybe a career? What was what kept you going other than the fun of it? Was it just the fun of it, or
Well, I wasn't making money at TikTok back then, and obviously when I was in grade 5.
Yeah.
But
you're counting your cash. Yeah. Grade 5. Hey, go
loonies,
get me the juice box.
My loonies to go to the corner store and get chocolates.
Yeah.
No, money wasn't in the picture. I obviously knew content creators do make money, and influencers, but I genuinely believe that if it's something that you actually love, the money will follow you.
So you're doing it as a hobby right now, or as a career?
It started. Well, I don't know. That's an interesting question. I feel right now, both of my jobs involve TikTok content, but I don't know if that's going to be my career forever. Mm-hmm. I'm not sure. Yeah. But right now, it's definitely something I'm focusing on, growing my own online reputation.
As an influencer.
Yeah.
So right now, you're in the game. You see other people out there.
I'm in the game.
You're in the game. you obviously we work with Sonia, who's also pretty active. She's the face of
the school.
The school. What do you think the current market looks like right now with just influencers? Because anyone could kind of we've been sold this idea that anyone could kind of be their own boss / content creator, and they could just kind of run their own company based on content and what their opinions or whatever.
Yeah, I think that's true. Anyone can become a content creator, but I think where the line drawn is if it's something you actually love, you'll be able to tell that. Like, I think authenticity is a really big deal, like online right now. Like, you can just tell when someone like actually really loves doing it rather than them doing it just for the brand deals and the sponsorships and the money. Because like at the end of the day, if your content isn't good, like you're not going to be getting all those opportunities down the line. And the only way to get there is by like actually loving it. And when you actually love something, like you'll do it great, not for the money, just because you love it. Like I work on my own videos because I love doing it, not because I'm like worrying about like my next brand deal or sponsorship.
But you have gotten like you've used the leverage of like your enjoy passion or whatever to kind of use that to get these sponsor like curiosity. I think you also mentioned you promoted some jewelry, right? Like
so I had brand deals with Every Jewels, Missouri, which the owner of Missouri actually was part of the DMZ. So I thought that was cool because she was in my program. And I also did a video for Miniso and this coffee brand once. Miniso paid me to go in their store and shoot a video for them in the Eaton Center like last September. So that was fun. And I've done a couple other like little things here and there, but yeah, those are like the big ones.
A bit of a Toronto state, like a up and coming content creator.
I guess so. Yeah, I hope so.
That's great because most people just do it like in their house or like their basement or whatever, and you're actually going out there doing it for businesses. Yeah. So it shows that what you're doing is like kind of providing some monetary value. You're kind of monetizing your passion. Yeah. That's awesome. So are you like what is your dream scenario after graduating?
That's a huge question, but a really good question. Honestly, like I was telling you earlier that I really want to travel and live in different parts of the world, but I also really want to start my own business one day, which I'm not sure exactly what that's going to be, but definitely something in the marketing, social media, content creating world. But honestly, like my ideal like situation after graduation would just be me like doing what I love to do and pursuing that. And I'm sure like wherever I'll end up, like will be where I'm meant to be.
And like since you want to travel, because you kind of lived in Toronto your whole life, right?
Well, I lived in like the suburbs of Toronto, but
a little bit. It's a little bit. What is that? 30 minutes away from Toronto?
No, it's like an hour.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I guess with traffic and all that.
Yeah.
Do you like what do you love most about Toronto?
Honestly, my friends. I love the opportunities here. I love like creating content here. It's so easy to like make content in Toronto, obviously. But also another thing that I really love is meeting people who have the same creative passions as me. Like for example, you do your podcast, you also make content. But a lot of people like where I'm from in Georgetown, like that is not a normal thing to do. Like I'm almost certain I'm like the only person from my high school that's even trying out this like space. So it's nice to meet people that have that same creative drive and even drive at all. Yeah. Like, you know what I mean? Like a lot of people are just not passionate about anything. And I think like, especially at TMU, we're always surrounded by people who are very passionate about like creative stuff. And I love being around that because it fuels me to like be better. And I see what other people are doing and I'm like, I got to step up my game. Like,
it's true. No, I agree. Especially when you see someone else do well. Yeah. It kind of like sparks a fire for you to kind of want to like do your best too. Yeah. You know?
And
it's a lot of friendly competition.
And a lot of people like aren't doing that type of stuff. So it's nice to be like in a community that like people are doing like the same things as you and you can learn from each other. It's just a nice like community and TMU has a lot of that because of our creative programs, obviously. But yeah.
So aside from just like the school and content creation, like the city itself, Toronto, like how does it speak to you? Because I mean, there's a lot of like, there's things to hate about Toronto too,
There's a lot of things to hate about Toronto.
So like, yeah, there's a lot of things to hate about Toronto, like Yonge and Dundas and like some greasy stuff. What do you think?
Some greasy stuff.
Yeah. It's pretty greasy.
Toronto guys.
Like Toronto mans, you mean?
Yeah, the Toronto mans, they pissed me off. I thought it was just a funny stereotype to see online, and then I went to go clubbing on King Street West, and I was like, oh, you guys like actually act and talk like this. So
like what? Like wagwan?
No,
like,
I'm not imitating.
Yo man, bear man things, bro. Like Like
no.
never in my life, shoddy. Like
Yeah.
I'm so cheesed right now. Like
That and I also think there's a lot of stereotypes of like certain types of people in Toronto, and that really pisses me off. But honestly, overall, like I like being in the city, so there's not like much bad to say about it other than certain areas I don't like and stuff like that.
Yeah, I feel like Toronto has like a very, because like I'm from Montreal, and Montreal is kind of like a little different in the sense that it's like French, but it's also like a much smaller city. Like Montreal was like what Toronto was supposed to be like in the 70s, but everyone moved away because of all the like crazy language laws, because like everyone's like we don't want to like be like forced to speak French, like so they just moved to Toronto, and then overnight this city like just became huge.
Yeah.
But when you go there, you really feel like there's like not, you feel like more relaxed. Toronto is like huge, you know?
Yeah.
It's a big city.
There's
bro.
so much to see. Like I love exploring different parts of the city I've never been to, coffee shops, different vintage places. Like there's so much to see and do. So
what would you say like is like your kind of like go-to areas? Because like
my go-to,
definitely not here, you know? Because for those who don't know like the geography, but like this area, like the area that we're kind of in right now, it's like it's nice because there's condo buildings and stuff. It's all great, but then you're like looking out your window. Sometimes it's like a hellscape. You see like
it's true.
like dogs barking, homeless
It's true.
people like fighting.
It's true.
You get out of your house, it smells like.
I really
terrible.
like the Ossington Strip area. There's a lot of very nice, like low key strip. No, low key.
Zanzibar.
Yeah, Zanzibar. I was thinking of Zanzibar.
Yeah.
There's a lot of low key like shops and bars there, and like smaller clubs that I really like. I definitely need to go there more often. But I've recently found a lot of good coffee shops on Queen Street West area as well, like almost near Parkdale, but not quite. So those are probably my go-to places, even though me and my friends hang out way too much at King Street and here because we live on this side. So
yeah, no. Do you think you would ever move to the other side there?
if I were to move back after university, it would definitely be near Ossington or down Queen Street. Definitely not near this area.
Have you thought of like where you would like to move other than Toronto? Like, because you said you wanted to travel, right?
Yeah,
Maybe
really
Italy because you love Italian.
Yeah,
your Italian.
Yeah,
heritage.
it's true. Yeah, definitely. I would want to live in Europe for a period of time, and New York really intrigues me just because the city is just huge, so much to see. And I was a big fan of Casey Neistat when I was younger, so watching him like skateboard around the city has really inspired me to like want to not skateboard around the city, but walk around there and just like see what it has to offer.
So is that kind of like your dream, like after to kind of like maybe being a content creator?
Yeah, it's on my bucket list. So definitely something I need to do in my life.
For those who don't know, we're using Stream Studio to record this this podcast. So far, I've been using Stream, for the past couple months, and it's honestly changed my life. I've never used a podcast platform like this. It's centralized everything. It's made everything easier. How easy is Stream Studio so far?
It's so easy, very functional.
You think you told me I think earlier that you loved it so much you want to start a podcast with Stream Studio, right?
It's true, yeah.
Right? So Stream Studio, if you're listening...
It's inspired me.
Yeah. Gio, if you're listening, Gio's like the guy who runs Stream. But if you guys are listening, Lily's here. She loves Stream Studio. Stream is actually really good. If you want to start your podcast, all you got to do is go on stream.studio. And then, you put your email in. And then once you put your email in, they'll send you a code. And bada bing, bada boom, you could start a podcast. You don't even need to sign up for anything. You just need an email, and then they'll send you a code, and then you can start a podcast. It's so easy. You get to have different transitions. You get to have texts real time. You get to go live to your viewers on YouTube, Facebook, whatever you want. So, I mean, look, you got to use the platform. It speaks for itself. But it's really good. It's really good. But yeah, I mean... We're done the ad. Just so you know.
Okay. We're done the ad.
Yeah, no. I think it's definitely a good vibe here in the city to be doing stuff because everyone's kind of busy. It's a very busy city. Yeah,
I am a very busy person, so it's good to be here. And everyone else is also very busy, like Sonia.
Yeah, for sure. Like you if you're like resting, you feel like you're
missing out.
You're missing out, or
no sleeping in.
Yeah, exactly. You got to be doing something.
Yeah.
And what? So like you're talking about your curiosity job. Like, how much of time does that spend, and what do you do for your curiosity job? Like, what type of content are you making?
So they reached out to me in start of August actually, and they sent me a DM from their main Instagram account, which has 500,000 followers. And I knew of Curiosity before just because of Instagram, but I just never followed those types of accounts because like they just post so much content that just spams my feed. So I was just like, oh, like I'm not gonna follow all these accounts. But I did know of them, and they DM'd me and basically said like, oh, we've seen your content on TMU. Would you be interested in doing TikTok content for us? So of course, like I was like really open to it, and I was like, yeah, of course. And then one of their, I don't know what his exact role is, but he's like basically the content coordinator of the account, and he emailed me and we had a video meeting, and he right off the bat I was really intimidated, but then the video meeting call started and he was at a bar drinking a beer, and I was like, yep, this is gonna be smooth sailing and very chill.
Oh my god.
And him and I like have created a great bond, so like we're a great team. And basically I do like hosting green screen type content for them, and we find the most current things in the news to talk about, and that's what we do videos about, like super relevant stuff to get people's attention. And I get my ideas like right from their articles, and they have 30 articles that go out daily.
Wow.
So there's always tons of content to pick from, and it's just a matter of picking what's the best for TikTok in terms of strategy. So in the summer I was doing 4 videos a week for them in August, but because of the school year I said like 2 to 3. So now that's what I'm doing for September, October, and I actually just signed a contract with them to do videos for the last quarter of the year, so till December. So that was September, October, November, and December. So I'm doing that till then.
Mm-hmm. And so like curiosity, like what type of news do you guys look at? Canadian news, international news?
Canadian. We stay within like the Canadian realm of stuff. A lot of pop culture, like movies, actors, stuff like that. But we also, I did a video talking about how when the mask mandate was lifted to be on planes, like, or no, the vaccine mandate, like when that came out, I think it was start of October, we were actually the first news outlet other than the Globe and Mail to talk about this, because I jumped on the story so fast that my video got 500,000 views within less than 24 hours. At the 21-hour mark, it had 500,000 views, which is crazy because that's a lot of people, and a lot of platforms and different like accounts were like reposting it to like get the word out there.
Wow.
And it was really cool because I felt
posting your video.
Yeah, it was really cool. I felt like I was like the face of vaccines being lifted.
Freedom. Yeah.
So it was interesting.
It's a good thing to be known as.
Yeah.
People were very angry during that time, you know?
Yeah. Well, the comments section, I just don't bother reading anymore because for some reason the comments on Curiosity are always so not negative, but you can just tell it's always like old people that like have nothing to do, and they're just like, I don't want to get my information from this little girl. And I'm like, what? Somebody commented that I'm 13. They're like, oh, of course you don't know this. You're 13. And I was like, I'm literally 20.
Bro, you told me that TikTok one time like made you age verify because they thought you're like young.
Yeah, so I used to do live streams during quarantine with like a few of my friends, and they banned me for a period of time because they thought I was under 13.
So like, who's this child? Who gave this phone to this child?
Yeah, but I didn't see me getting banned in grade 5.
I mean, TikTok is different though, you know?
It's true.
It's like the Chinese platform. The CCP is running that. Okay. They don't want to have little girls or anything. But what's it called? Like that's pretty crazy. Like to have something like that, to be the first to report like that news and get 500,000 views.
It's at like 700,000 now.
But I mean, I doubt people are going back and like.
Yeah, no, it's a one-off type thing. Yeah.
I think that's the biggest problem with content creation is the one-offness of everything. It's like you try to like make something that's gonna last a long time, but you like it's hard to do that unless it's like your name is the thing that's being lasted. The videos in itself, like they can't.
That's why I think it's so important to focus on my own account as well as TMU and Curiosity, because it's a big like responsibility to have all these accounts moving all at the same time. But if you're not moving your own name with it as you go, like once you leave those accounts, like what do you have?
Yeah.
So that's something I've always been really worried about. So I always try to like put as much effort into my own stuff as I do the other accounts too.
Yeah, just so you have something to
Yeah.
like, oh, like I like this girl, like I want to see what else
Yeah, exactly.
relates to her.
I feel like every time we do a video on TMU, it's like, okay, the video got 200,000 views, great. And then our boss is like, what's the next 200,000 view video? And we're all just like, I don't know. Things just move like so fast.
Yeah, I think for TMU, it's like things that are not related just to the school. It's like Greater Toronto area.
Yeah.
You know? It's like things that...
I like our strategy for the TMU account. It's very different.
For sure. I mean, we're in the city. That's why, like, most
makes sense.
Universities don't have...
anything.
Yeah, they're not close to anything.
Guelph.
You're shitting on Guelph.
I don't like Guelph.
No, the parties there are apparently not too fun.
It's just like when
we were walking together, she was voice recording something to her friend. She's like, I am not going down to Guelph. The parties suck down there and it's like terrible. And we're like, she sent it, and like we're in mid conversation. She pulls out her phone, starts listening to it again. Like, I'm like, bro, are you serious?
I'm a true content creator. Love the sound of my own voice.
No, I'm guilty of that too sometimes.
Yeah, I could totally see you being guilty of that.
Even like with school projects, like I'll be like, I said that so well, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're just listening to your own podcast in the shower, listening to your own voice.
I honestly do, to kind of like fix where I lack communication skills. I've honestly gotten better from doing podcasts, but when you say to kind of like fill in time, and I'm guilty of doing that right now.
Yeah, I am guilty of that too.
Part of it is to like think of another thing to say, you know, because just to kind of keep the conversation going. But you know, that happens sometimes, you know, you got to kind of like keep the ball rolling by adding some filler.
Yeah.
But you know who's really good at that? Like,
who?
There's people that, like, for example, Justin Trudeau like sucks at like public speaking and trying to come up with the next thing. Well, no, not. He's good at like performing and stuff, but I feel like it's gotten to the point where it's like, and he will
oh yeah, that's why he talks like that.
Yeah, but someone who's great at it, and this is a controversial take because not a lot of people, is Trump. Trump is like, he'll be like, and you look at what's going on. It's so sad. It's so sad. But you know what they do? It's horrible. He'll just keep going with these liners.
He keeps going and going.
He doesn't stop.
He's a good bullshitter. I'm also,
oh yeah.
Yeah.
You're a good bullshitter.
I can be.
Well, that's what my dad said. He's like, not you.
Italians are good bullshitters, okay?
Oh my God. Don't tell me, like, I'm watching Sopranos right now and I can't stop talking like them, you know?
Yeah, you talk like them too much.
Too much.
Too much.
Yeah, my girlfriend gets pissed.
Really?
I'll be like, what the fuck is the matter with you? What are you doing?
I don't know how you get the voice so well. Like, it's so, like, accurate.
I do impressions. That's why.
I know.
I'm working on my Barack Obama right now. Sometimes I'll just wake up and I'll be like, I'll start just being that person. I'll be
You're
like,
a psychopath. I just wake up and I'm Barack Obama. Like,
well, today I feel like we got to do TikTok. Is that a good Barack Obama? Not really.
I don't really know exactly what he sounds like. I kind of forgot.
Really?
Yeah, but the other two were good.
Joe Biden, obviously, you know. What are we even doing right now? My son Hunter, he put me on the stage and he said, if you're a good person, you'll keep recording.
Okay, sure.
I guess no. But you kind of have that comedic aspect too with like your stuff there, no? Like not impressions.
Not in the same way that you do, I think. I think your comedic impressions are very different than mine, I'd say.
Not just impressions, but like comedic kind of
content
and skills.
Yeah. Well, I do it a little bit differently. I do it more through like trends or making fun of certain things in like pop culture or stuff that's like going on. Those videos always do really well. Like I made a video making fun of the like Justin Bieber Tim Hortons collab and how like the products were basically just like so like garbage.
Yeah.
And like that did really well. But yeah, I think I do it a bit differently.
You kind of have to look at...
It's like insulting them, but like not so much, but like it's relatable.
And what do you mean?
Like, I don't know.
No, but
like sometimes I see something and I'm like, yeah, this is so shit, and I'm sure everyone else agrees, and then I'll make a video about it and it will do well because like people agree, I guess.
It's like something that's kind of like everyone's thinking about, but not necessarily
Not gonna say.
Saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really good.
Yeah.
And especially like since, like, I don't know, like it's kind of something that you could always bring up. It's a good strategy.
Yeah.
That's the hard part about working for the school is you can't really do those hit pieces.
You can't do that.
No.
So I also have steered away from making fun of the school in any way because I don't know if it's like bad if I'm like also doing that content and then on my own account I'm like, fuck this institution. Because last year I did a lot of that stuff and those videos always did really well. Like when my video came up in our meeting of me making fun of the chairs in the TRSM building, I was like sweating.
Were they upset about it? Or
no,
not?
Nobody was upset about it, but it was just like me saying that the chairs are garbage in the school. And I was like sweating. I'm like, oh my God.
Well, if anything, that's like, it's like helpful criticism. It's like, listen,
I guess
guys,
so.
we gotta open a budget,
I gotta bring my own pillow.
Yeah.
Every time I go to this class.
Do you actually?
No.
Okay.
You think I would bring a pillow to my class? That's so weird.
Honestly, you do seem like the person who would bring a pillow.
No, you do.
You seem like the person
you would
who
bring those
in your
travel.
backpack.
You would bring those like travel things that goes around your neck.
That goes around your neck. No. I like to travel lightly. But I see you pulling it out of your purse and kind of like just chilling in class there.
Sure.
I mean, you don't care really too much about what people think, so
it's true.
That's always an option if you want to do it. But I got to tell you guys something. This podcast is being recorded through Stream Studio. Stream Studio is great. We love Stream Studio down here at Cheyenne Show. And honestly, if you want to start your own podcast, it's easy. Everyone's doing it nowadays.
I'm going to do it.
Lily, yeah, you want to start your own podcast. Didn't you say that?
Yeah.
She wants to start a podcast, and
I need my own sign too. I need to get one of those.
Well, that's not included with Stream Studio, but you could get it yourself on Amazon or something. Okay. But if you want to start your podcast, like you told me you love Stream Studio. Everyone goes crazy over Stream Studio, and I say, listen, relax. If you want to go on Stream.studio, you could. It's easy. All you got to do is have an email. You have an email, right? Everyone has an email.
Yes.
And then you put that in. You get a code. Bada bing, bada boom. You get to start the podcast. Stream is great because you centralize everything you need, your camera, your microphone, everything. So you don't need to go over here and record and then start recording on your laptop, being scared that it's not recording here and then it's recording here. So you know everything where it's at. So that's where it's at with Stream Studio. So go today and get yourself a podcast going. Yeah. So yeah. That's Stream.
I don't know what to say.
You don't have to say anything. You just got to start your own podcast now.
Yeah, I do.
But so you're continuing this content creation path. You know what you want. You want to start a business potentially out of it.
Yeah. I don't know what yet though.
Like maybe a marketing type of vibe?
Yeah, maybe a marketing agency. Maybe it would be something e-commerce. Not really sure.
In what sense?
Like selling something like related to me in some way. I don't know.
There's a lot of there's a lady I know in Montreal. She's huge. You probably maybe have seen her. Her name's Tatiana Londono.
It sounds familiar, but
she's like this Italian lady, I think, and she's like a real estate lady. She's like, I made this. I get
you. Oh, I do know her.
Yeah, she's got the curly frizzy hair.
Yes.
So she's like actually an agent. Like she has her own company, the Londono Group or whatever.
Yeah.
And she's like making these TikToks and it's going like worldwide.
Yeah, I've seen them.
So that's a good strategy, what she's doing. She's like kind of promoting her business with her TikTok while at the same time.
Right now, I feel like I'm just promoting my own life in an experiential way, especially with those voiceover videos. Mm-hmm. Just to like create like relationships with who's watching. I don't know. I feel like I know what I'm doing sometimes. Other times I think I have no idea what I'm doing, but that's just what I'm doing right now. And yeah, like I just like doing it. So I'm going to continue doing that and see where it ends up, but definitely something down e-commerce or like marketing agency.
Mm-hmm. Well, as long as you're doing it, that's what's like the most important, and being willing to like experiment and take other options, like, being able to like know, like, okay,
keeping all the doors open.
Keeping all the doors open and like having your foot in like every
That's
door.
why I kept both jobs at TMU and Curiosity. At first I was like, this is way too much for one semester. Like I have 6 deliverables per week with TMU and Curiosity, and that's like a lot, and to still continue doing your own stuff. So that's why I do that, because I want to make sure I have like options and I'm experiencing as much as possible as well.
Yeah, I mean, since Curiosity is such like it's reaching a huge audience.
Yeah.
It's not just for students.
Yeah, because their stuff gets reposted onto their Instagram Reels as well. So they have Curiosity Toronto, Vancouver, like Calgary, Edmonton, and then they have just the Curiosity Canada account.
So you're working for the Curiosity Canada.
I'm working for Curiosity Canada on TikTok. Right now we have 1 TikTok account, but on Instagram Reels, if my video is like about something in Calgary, it'll get posted to Canada and Calgary. But if it's something Canada-wide, like that video about the vaccines, it got posted to Calgary, Edmonton, Vancouver, Toronto, and Canada. So between all of that, like all those accounts, they all have like around 100,000 followers. I think the Toronto one has like 200,000. Like it reaches a lot of people.
What's their business model? Like
they put out they have like a website where they put out all these articles, but basically like anything in the news, like they post on Instagram, they tell you like best spots, new places opening, events, law, like a bunch of stuff like that. Like they just have news about everything in Canada, and then depending on which city it relates to, they post to those accounts. Like you'll keep very up to date. Like after joining the team and like following the accounts, I feel like I'm so up to date with like that. So they're trying to do that, but on TikTok in more of a fun way, because on TikTok it's different than what people want to see on Instagram too.
What I mean though, like about business model is like, did they get advertisers or something?
Yeah.
Do they get like paid to like advertise like a small business? Or?
Yeah, they have advertisers. So we've actually got 2 advertisers on the TikTok account. The first one was Canadian Tire, which was really cool. And then the second one was this Lynx Airlines. It was like an airline company. They wanted to do like a contest through Curiosity, but the Canadian Tire video did amazing. Like I wasn't expecting it to do that well, just because when I feel like people see it, you instantly know it's a sponsored post, especially since it says paid advertisement, but it got 155,000 organic views. So I was like really happy about that, because I was like, okay, like this shows that I actually like can pull in that much views, even if it says paid sponsorship. But yeah, so
like, do you come up with these ideas yourself, or do they kind of bring it to you and then say, make something out of it?
So they usually give me options. They'll be like, okay, these are like the most relevant stories of today. Which one do you think's best for TikTok? And I'll like pick. Or sometimes they're like, oh my God, this story is really good. Can you do one about this? Or if I see something specific, I'll be like, listen, we need to do something about this topic because like it's new, it's super relevant, and like it will do well on TikTok. So it's very collaborative. But it's not all just me on the idea side. But everything to do with video, script, backdrop, all of that's me.
And do you have like weekly meetings that like, you know, they say like, good job, like you got this many views?
We have a group chat with the founder of the company, and he messages me pretty often just saying like, oh my God, like he'll send me the analytics and be like, this is crazy. He sent me a message when I did the vaccine video, and he was like, wow, like the account has this much views. He was like, oh, you've got 5 million views total during this period. Like it must be so crazy for you being 20 years old, like having this many people watch your content. And he was like, I'd be jumping off the walls if I was 20 years old and I knew 5 million people saw me. And I was like, yeah, like I'm jumping off the walls too. Yeah. So the team's really nice. I like the team.
That's awesome. It's nice that there's like a friendly vibe to it.
Yeah.
Is that his like bread and butter? That's like his main thing, or it's like a side business?
I'm not sure, but I think it is. Actually, how the Curiosity team found me was because the founder's daughter watched our videos on TMU, and she saw one of my like event posts of like here's the top 5 events in August. It was the August video, and she apparently saw it and showed it to her dad. And her dad was like, we need to find this girl. And my boss told me that it took them a couple days to find like who I was, which that actually made me realize that I needed to start tagging myself more often on TMU.
They got a professional stalker to find you.
Yeah, they got a professional stalker to find me, which that's funny. But yeah, so they found me through the daughter, which is kind of cool.
That's sick. And do you know the daughter, or like?
No, I don't know who she is. No, I don't know who she is. One day I'll find her.
You gotta give her a gift and like some, chocolate or something. Like, thank you. You got me the job here.
Yeah, it's true. No, I don't know who she is though. I think she might be younger, but I'm not sure.
So, okay. We're going to wrap it up quickly, but there's still some things. Because you mentioned, like the things you hate about Toronto. We didn't get too much in. Because you kind of told me just like, I like coffee shops.
I was very general about it on purpose.
But you're pretty active in like, just like the clubbing scene and the party scene too, right?
Yeah.
Like, what about that? Like, I'm sure you have some stories. And you can keep it PG-13, if you don't want to.
Yeah. Well, it's always really funny because guys at the club are so annoying. They piss me off. Me and my friends just like steal all their drinks and then run away from them, to say it lightly. But yeah, no, they're just.
You steal their drinks or they buy you drinks?
Well, both, but most of the time it's like bottle service guys.
Okay.
So it's easier. But yeah, like the clubbing scene is like. For going out, like I enjoy going out with my girlfriends and like we have a good time, but you're not gonna find your husband on King Street West. Like it's just, especially if he's a promoter.
What would you say like the main vibe is like of these characters, the promoters, and is it like that Toronto man's caricature, like the? Sometimes
yes, other times they're just very promoter-y and they like, I don't know. I don't even know.
They're promoting the club.
They're just weird. Like they're just weird guys, and I'm just like. You're done. Like, I'm done entertaining whatever this is. So we just stay away from them, honestly. Like, you're not going to find your husband on King West.
Would you ever, like, potentially, like, work for, like, one of these, be a promoter?
Oh, that's 100% not.
No?
No, I would never be a promoter.
No? It's kind of similar to what,
It could be, but it's just such a toxic scene.
What do you like? You stand outside and tell people to come into the club?
No, promoters are like more than that. Like they get tables, and then they reel in all of the people at the club, get them to follow you on Instagram, and then like every weekend they go out like every weekend, like Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and even Sunday and Monday.
They work for the club, right?
They work for the club, but their job is to bring in people. So like one of my friends is my friend Josh knows a club promoter really well, and he told me that he gets paid $7 per girl that he like brings in, and they basically put you on a list.
And then the drinks are probably like 10.
But then the club will like give them bottles, and then they'll buy bottles. But apparently, like by the time they get
the club will give who bottles?
The promoter for bringing in all these people, and then that's how we get free drinks because they.
Wait, so the guy who gets the bottles, he gets paid plus he gets paid in bottles?
He gets paid in bottles, yeah.
But does he get paid in cash too, or like?
They give him the $7 per bottle, but you have to. Like he ends up buying
per girl, not
per
bottle.
girl. Yes, sorry, per girl, and then he ends up having to pay for some bottles. So they're not going to give you unlimited bottles. But one of my friends told me that like by the time the night's done, they've basically made nothing.
Promoters,
yeah.
So they're so they're pretty much getting conned.
They're pretty much just going to party and make $20 and leave. But I stopped like
going. It's like an alcoholic kind of job.
Yeah, like I follow this one on Instagram because he's a friend of a friend, and he literally goes out Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and I'm like, how do you not get so tired of that?
Jesus Christ!
It's a toxic world, but yeah, I want to steer away from King West from now on.
Have you been like some bad experiences that you're just like?
Well, just like back? I'm tired of it, and like sometimes certain spots is just like a big no from me.
I just don't like being like sardined in a small space and like smelling people and feeling the heat of their body and the sweat coming on you and
definitely just want to explore some like new places for sure. One place I'm so tired of, which the first time I went to Toy Box I was like, oh my god, this place is so fun because they give out like free pizza and whatever, but after like 3 times I was like, I am done with this place. So that's like my most like, this place is canceled. But
What's like a nice place then? Like are all clubs just like bad?
All of them, like, okay, I like Lost and Found, but that's just because every time I've went there, I've had a good time. I don't mind Petty Cash because it kind of reminds me of like not a club and not a bar. Like it's a little bit more chill, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know what my favorite would be. Like that's the only thing. I don't know.
Do you like bar type of vibes or no?
Yeah, I like bar type of vibes too, but I
like restaurants. That's what I like.
Yeah,
just
you're
like,
very like business sophisticated man. Sits at the Keg for like 4 hours.
The Keg's not bad. It's just it's kind of
He goes to Harbor 60 every weekend.
Yeah, low key.
Yeah,
it's just like it's more enjoyable. You know, you get the the food. You try out some oysters. You know, you have some.
It's a very
cocktails.
Cheyenne thing to do.
I guess like I've grown out of the club type of vibe.
Well, yeah, because you told me that you clubbed so much when you went to Montreal.
I didn't club so much. I mean, I don't know. It was like
you're just sick of it.
You start very young in Montreal. You go to your first strip club when you're like 13.
Strip club?
Yeah, like when you're 14 or 13 years old.
No, that's weird.
I mean, that's just the way it is, you know?
No.
That's the strip club capital.
The way it is weird.
Well, I mean, ask anyone from Montreal. They'll tell you the same thing. They'll be like, yeah, you know, I got my first lap dance when I was like 14.
That's so weird.
I mean...
No, I don't want to hear about this.
It is kind of weird, but...
No.
But I feel like it gives you like more of a maturity over like...
Adds character.
Not adds character. Just drinking at an earlier age makes you like by the time like you're in university, everyone's getting all fucked up and drunk and stuff, and you're just kind of like babysitting or parenting, you know, or just like you're like the grizzled kind of like, you know, person like, oh, you know, these children type of vibe, you know.
That's so weird.
Like the Americans are the worst. Americans like they can't like handle the liquor at all because it's like 21 there, you know. So when they come here, they get too rowdy and too crazy. I don't know if you've ever had any experiences like with that. Like,
yeah, I've had a few friends that they moved to Toronto and they never really drank in high school, and then we would go clubbing and they would just be a disaster the whole night. And I'm like, okay, we gotta do some drinking 101 classes with you after tonight because this cannot be my weekend every night.
And you Italians go hard too, didn't you say? Like you guys drink like crazy.
Well,
like,
we drink like wine. Like I remember being like younger, like not like 13 like you, but maybe like 14, 15, like drinking wine at the table or like certain things that are just like culturally something you do. And it's not to get drunk or anything like that. It's just like, you know, pastime. It's a family thing. Christmas, Easter.
But that's the good way because
it's true.
Like, you get a little amounts like rather than like holding it up as like the sacred thing where it's like you can't reach it like and you get those you're like, oh, it's kind of like, you know, it's not that crazy by the time you get to that point, you know. Yeah. And you kind of know how to handle it. Mm-hmm. But yeah. There's a big Italian community in Toronto, right? I
don't know. You think there is? It's more like in Vaughan. Vaughan, Richmond Hill area. I wouldn't say I've met too many Italians.
Do you have any Italian friends?
I do.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Does it feel like you're in your squad?
Yeah, it feels nice. I don't have too many. I have like 2. My closest friend, Adriana, she is Italian. So her and I, like, she's like one of my closest friends that's Italian. But I haven't met many. Like they're, especially like in Toronto, not really. And in Georgetown, there's none. I'm like the only Italian person other than Adriana. It's like me and Adriana and that's all.
Well, I mean, you got your family.
Yeah, that's why I go to Italiano Vero to scope out the scene.
Didn't you say there's like 5,000 people?
5,000 people at the Liberty Grand.
Are they like all Italian?
No, every single person I went with was not Italian.
Okay.
Yeah.
I thought it was like only Italians.
What do you think they show you? You have to show like proof?
Show up like in sweatpants.
Show up with your Uncle Tony and you'll be allowed in.
An Adidas tracksuit type of vibe. Show your gold chain.
No. Yeah. Show your wife beater and gold chain. No.
Yeah.
No, anyone can go to that. But yeah.
Well, thank you so much for coming on the podcast. I think, people are going to enjoy this one. And actually, one last thing before, what do you recommend to people who want to be a content creator? Like what are the steps to do to like someone who's kind of thinking about it or they kind of want to go down that path? You know, what would you say is like a piece of advice or the first few steps?
I would say, like, don't be scared of, like, what people are going to think of you and just do it because you love it and want to improve. And over time, like you'll obviously get better. And when you start, it can be very like nerve-wracking about like what people are going to say. But if you genuinely love it and it's something you want to do, don't steer away from it because you're scared of what other people will think. And consistency is key.
Consistency is king. Okay. I sound like Joe Biden. Consistency.
Yeah, slurring his words over here. Okay.
I guarantee I didn't drink.
Okay.
But thank you so much for coming on the podcast.
Thank you for having me.
It was a pleasure.
We're gonna handshake now.
Yes.
Okay.
Ciao.
Ciao.